It's a beautiful thing to have scholars every day that exhibit fairness throughout their lives. Now, when I think about fairness and what it means, a lot of times I think about how unfair the world is that we live in. Based on what language you speak, there may be a different level of fairness that you see in your world. Based on the color of your skin or the way that your hair is styled, there may be a different level of fairness that you experience in the world. Based upon how much money or how little money you have, there may be a different level of fairness that you experience in the world. In fact, young scholars, I would venture to say to you that life is not always going to be fair, and that you will face a lot of unfairness on this journey that we call life. I faced a lot of unfairness myself. I've been bullied. I've been fired from jobs that I was really good at. I've had a lot of unfairness happen to me, and you will have a lot of unfairness happen to you. But what happens and where you end up in life is about a whole lot more than what happens to you. What happens and where you end up in life is about a whole lot more than what people do to you. What happens and where you end up in life has a lot more to do with how you respond to what happens to you and how you respond to what you go through in life. I'm gonna tell you a little story. I grew up in a little town called Clewiston, Florida, in the projects. They call it Harlem Gardens. There's a big gate around the projects where I'm from to keep people in, keep people cased in, so that when there were police issues or whatever, there was only one way to get out, and so that the police didn't have to worry about high-speed chases and whatnot. And coming from that little community, I had a lot of opportunities to participate in not so good activities and behaviors. And one day, I decided I wanted to hang out with my friends that, you know, they were the kids that were the weed smokers and the bad stuff doers, right? And I decided I wanted to hang out with them this particular day. And what we decided to do as a group is go steal some mangoes. You know, and that might not seem like the most harmful thing that a person could do, but what we did is, the group of us, the 10 or 12 of us, we went together to this lady's house, and she had a fence around her yard, and about 5 of us jumped over that fence and proceeded to take mangoes off her tree so that we could go and sell them. And the other 5 or 6 were on the other side, and we were tossing them to them, and they would put them in bags, right? And this lady came out of her house with a big old dog and a broomstick in her hand, and the 5 of us that were across the fence, myself included, began to scramble to try to get over this fence and get away, right? And as I was on this fence, I got stuck. My jeans got caught on the fence and I couldn't get away. But all the rest of the people got over that fence. They took those mangoes that I was helped tossing to them, and they left. They left me to face the consequences for what we had done together. Does that seem fair to you? Right, that wasn't fair. And this lady came up with her broomstick and her big old dog, walked up to me, and she could have had her way with me. She could have hit me as many times as she wanted to with that broom handle and taught me a real good lesson. But she looked at me, and I think she felt sorry for me. I think she saw the young man on her fence show some remorse for what he'd done. I think she saw that young man that had been left all alone, and she felt bad for this young character. She gave me a good tongue lashing. She fussed at me real good. I got my behind off that fence, and I decided that I would never spend time with those young men again. And what I realized, so many years later after graduating from high school, what I realized is that a lot of those friends now call me when they get into trouble with the law. A lot of those friends have felony convictions. A lot of those friends are in and out of trouble. A lot of those friends are looking over their shoulders, worried about the police every day coming into their house and taking away everything that they have stolen and that they have sold drugs to get. And today I live a different type of life. I live a life that I'm happy with, the life that I wanted to live since I was 5 years old. I want you to know that life isn't fair. I want to remind you of that. But I want to also remind you that when you get in those situations of unfairness, when you find yourself on a fence, like I found myself, you need to make a choice. And I hope that the choice that you make, I hope that when you find yourself on a fence in life, that you think about my on the fence scenario. I hope that you think about the time when I had my friends leave me to take the punishment for what we had all done. I hope that you think about the life that I'm living now versus the life that I could have been living. I hope that you think about the fact that the choice that you make could end you up in the worst possible circumstances or the best possible circumstances, and it's completely and totally up to you. I pray that you decide when you're on that fence to strive for the better and to push for the best you that you could be. Listen, I thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you and I love you.